Okay, so we're gonna start this morning with just going through these questions. And I can show, what I'll do is, I'll do more or less what I think the method I would use for it to do this. Okay, so this one I probably would have used factoring. If you didn't use that method on the question that I'm using and you want to see your method, I can show that to you as well. Okay, so I've got x and x, right? Okay, factors of 16 that give plus 16 that give me, okay. You all right? Anybody use a different method?
I just grabbed them.
Just graph this one.
So when we write it out, we just like write x is equal to 8.
I need that, yes. Yeah, if you, I'm not gonna mark it wrong if you do this, but
We have both.
yeah, in grade 12, they'll tell you not to do this if they ask you for intercepts, because the intercept is actually, is where they cross the line, so they'll tell you when to put it that way, okay? 3x squared plus 19x minus 14 equals 0. And I'll maybe graph this one. Just one, graphed it, and that's it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna work with the technology here just to check it out on the live streaming to make sure it's working. So I'm gonna also use my graphing calculator here. This will be a lot harder to see, but again, I'm trying to get everything set up today so that.
As long as I cause I was watching a video and there's one part that I couldn't really see because you did the 2 screens, but I kind of knew what you were writing because you were saying it. So
Okay.
As long as you
Okay. All right. So then.
Speaking.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So then, I'm hoping, I'm just looking at off the laptop here, that it is not the easiest to see. So I'll do the best we can under the circumstances. So what was the equation? 3x squared, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Plus 19x.
plus 18x, subtract 14 or add 14? Subtract 14. Okay. So, how far down does that go? 45. Okay, so grid range. So I'm just gonna get it adjusted here. That did not work well. Okay, so once it starts, oh, fine. Okay, anyway, so for this one, x is equal to minus 7 and 2/3, I think is what it worked out to. What are you doing here, bud? So I could have factored this too. I'm going to show this method of factoring. So the product, I take 3 times negative 14. Okay, that's going to give me 42, right? My sum has to equal plus 19. So I need the factors of negative 42 that add to give me 19. So what do you got? 21, negative 2. So I'm going to go 3x squared minus 2x plus 21x minus 14 equals 0. Brackets like that. So far, so good? Okay, what's the greatest common factor here?
X.
Just x. So what, 3x minus 2 plus greatest common factor? 7. It's 3x minus 2. Again, it checks out. My two brackets are the same, so that's the best part about it. We know that we've got it right. Now I factor the 3x minus 2 out. And I'm left with x add 7 equals 0. Okay. X is equal to 2/3 and negative 7. So if I was factoring that question, that's where I would go with it. All right. Oh. Graphmatica doesn't want to work for me today. Okay. All right. So there's that. Okay. Any questions about that? Again, that's two factoring. I would have graphed that one probably myself. Third one. X squared minus 6x add 7 equals 0. All right. Now, if I'm choosing between C and D, I would have used C as, or D as my completing the square, but you could complete the square for this one too. This one's probably an easy one to complete the square for. So I got that, right? Nothing to factor out of there. Put my blanks in. Like that. So I've got x minus 3 squared. That's negative 2. X minus 3, oh, ugly, squared equals 2. Okay. Square root it. And then add 3. That's what I would leave it as there. All right. Okay. Is that one factorable? Is that?
I don't know.
If it's factorable, I wouldn't end up with an expression, a radical expression there. So the answer is probably no. It's not factorable. So you could have graphed that one as well. All right. Check.
And if you graph, wouldn't your x value kind of change? Not like change, but wouldn't your rate different then?
How do you mean?
Like, wouldn't it just be a full number instead of like root of 2?
Yes, that's correct. It would give you a decimal.
That's alright.
All right. Yeah, if you're graphing it, it has to be. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you're right. Like, so right here. Get it on there. So I see.
Are you sure that's true?
So it'd be 1.59 and 0. It's hard to see right there, but that's would be 1.59 and 0. Okay. And
You
then,
type it in.
what's that, sorry?
Wouldn't it be a negative one if you did like the square root of 2 take away 3?
No, it's 3 subtract the square root of 2, which is, the square root of 2 is about 1.1, let's say. So when you take 3 subtract it, you'd end up with that 1.59 or whatever it is. So it must be 1 point something. Okay. All right. This one as well, I'm going to use the same example. I would have maybe used my quadratic equation for it as well. So, or quadratic formula. So I've got A is equal to 1, B is equal to -6, C is equal to 7, right? So X is equal to 6 plus minus 36 minus 4 times 1 times 7 all over 2 times 1. 6 plus minus the square root of, so 36 subtract 28, 8 over 2, okay? So now, again, because we're going to go into this right away, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, 4 goes into 8, correct? So I'm going to change that and I'm going to make it 6 plus minus 2 square root 2 all over 2. Okay? I see, again, I'm working on the fraction. As long as these can all, these three values can all be divided by the same amount, you can change it. So that's how I end up with 3 plus minus root 2, which is the same as what I had the last time. Okay? All right? So both those methods, those I would use, well, any of those three methods. The only one I wouldn't use is factoring for this because it can't be factored. But all three of those methods are pretty simple, actually. Yeah.
I got the same answer, but I did like 2 root 4. Because 4 is like a big square.
Yeah, but
wait,
if you have a square root 4 there,
Oh,
the
it's
square root of
actually
4 is actually 2.
Okay,
So that's
so just didn't simplify it.
great. Okay? Okay, and the last one, this one's set up already for completing the square because it's already done. So that one's already done for completing the square. So it's actually, you've eliminated a couple of your steps. So now I go x minus 3 squared is equal to 4. I add 8 and divide by 2, right? Now I take the square root of it. X minus 3 is equal to plus minus 2. X is equal to 3 plus minus 2. X is equal to 5 and 1.
How would you get it back to the other, like, you know how you said it kind of like skip this step?
Yeah, okay. Now this is where you were having issues that you tried to change that to ax squared plus bx plus c,
Oh,
didn't you?
Yeah. I tried.
Yes.
I was trying to do it.
Okay.
I tried so
I
hard,
gave up.
but I could
Okay.
never do it.
Okay, so let's,
But is it possible?
yeah, it's easier than you think. This is actually 2x minus 3 times x minus 3, right?
Yes.
Subtract 8 equals 0 like that. When I multiply, I FOIL that out. I end up with x squared minus 6x plus 9. Subtract 8 equals 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay, x times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3x, that makes negative 6x. And then I have 9, right? Okay, multiply through 2x squared minus 12x add 18 minus 8 is equal to 0. So 2x squared minus 12x plus 10 is equal to 0. That's it in ax squared plus bx plus c form. All right. So at that point, I don't know what
When then you just divide everything by 2.
you would start by doing that, sure. Okay. So what do you want to do? You want to factor it or?
Divided by 2.
Okay, so if we divide by 2, I get this. X squared minus 6x plus 5 equals 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, now I see.
Now I can factor it easily. All right? Because I've got x minus 5, x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, factors of 5. So I get that, right? So, however, this is the way I would have done it because it's already set up as you're completing the square. So you eliminate the step where you put 2 brackets, right? Here and here, and factor the 2 out and add the blanks. It's all been done for you. And then the last question here. Can you do it, Alexander? Oh, how?
It was like
That
a
one's
bit
a
close.
Come on, man. Come on.
It was just a little bit tricky, but I think I figured it out.
Okay,
I had no clue what I was
so the Parks Department is planning a new flower bed. It will be rectangular, dimensions 9 by 6. The flower bed will be surrounded by a grass strip of constant width with the same area as the flower bed. All right. So when we draw this out here, okay, so this is 9 by 6, right? So what's the area of it?
54.
54 meters squared, right? Okay, I'll just think this through, all right? So this is X right here, and this is X right here, and this is X right here, and this is X right here, right? Okay, now, I want you just in words, how do I find the area of this right here? Somebody tell me, explain it to me in words. Go ahead, Amran.
Yeah, what Amy said, you find the whole area and then just take away the area inside the.
Yeah, so if you take the big area, right, and you subtract the little area, you'll end up with the area of that. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay, and so what is this length right here, from here to here? Not 6,
Which one am I supposed to be looking at?
from here to here.
Oh, yeah, 9 plus 2.
9, add 2x, right? And from here to right here is 6 plus 2x. Right? Yeah? Okay, so now the area, we want the area of this here to equal the area of that after I subtract it. Okay, so the area of this guy is 54. So now I take the area of the big guy. And I subtract the area of the little guy, and I end up with that. Questions?
Why is it 2x?
Okay, just think about, let me use red here. Okay, I want this length right here, right?
Mhm.
Okay, from here to here is x. From here to here, from there to there is x.
Okay.
Right, so I gotta add my 3 pieces together. So x plus 9 plus x.
Yeah.
So that gives me 2x. And then x plus 6 plus x gives me that one. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I end up with 108 is equal to, if I FOIL that out, I'm gonna end up with 54 plus, what is that, 18 and 12, 30x plus 4x squared. So far, so good? We're okay?
Did you get 108 from? like,
I added this 54 to this
okay.
side. We okay? Have I lost anybody? Not yet? Not yet, I say. 0 equals 4x squared plus 30x minus 54. Okay. So first thing I'm looking for is what? Greatest common factor. Is there greatest common factor there? 2. So I'm going to divide everything by 2. Now, because I am solving, I'm allowed to just divide by it and get rid of it. Oh, that should be 15. 15x. What looks like you can follow. Okay? All right. 2 times negative 27. I'm just going to see if I can factor this. I don't know if I can. It's negative 54, right? What are the factors of negative 54 that add to give me 15? Is there any?
Mine, I definitely factored. Yeah, I did too, I just can't remember.
Me too.
And then
18 and 3.
18 and 3.
negative 3.
Okay. So I've got 0. You said negative 3. 3x plus 18x. Subtract 27. All right. greatest common factor, 2x minus 3 here. And greatest common factor between 18 and 27, 9. 2x subtract 3, perfect. It's going to work out nicely. So I'm going to have equals 0. Notice I don't lose that equals 0. That's important for you to understand. You can't afford to lose that 0 there. When you're solving for an equation, you have to leave it in there all the way. All right? So now I end up with x is equal to -9 and
1.5.
1.5. Can it be a negative number?
No.
I'm talking distance? No? So that can't be it. So what's my solution?
The width is
1.5. So that makes this right here 12, and this right here 9. Yeah?
Mhm.
There's your answer. Says, write a quadratic equation in general form to model this situation. So in general form is right here. There's A. Solve the quadratic equation. There's B. Calculate the perimeter of the path. What's the perimeter of the path then?
42. No.
12 plus 9? 21, right? 21 and 21 make? There's the answer for C. Okay? What's that?
I said, yeah, I don't think I got C right. I was on the right track though.
Okay.
Until I found-
So the only other way I ask this question is using planters. They use planters or they use round sections. So in which your areas are going to be pi r squareds. But the same idea, take the outer minus the inner, and then it'll give you what it should be equal to, whether they're equal to each other or not.
Oh, we did that last year.
You
Or
didn't
last
apply it.
semester.
Yes.
I remember that.
Okay. That's it for that assignment. I'll get that marked and get it back to you as soon as I can. Any other questions out of your book that you want to see? See if somebody's online. Again, I'm just trying to, I don't know if I can find out who's watching.
We should be able to.
I have no idea.
Oh, I've got 2 on there now. Okay, so any questions? If anybody that is watching online has questions, type it in the comment box. That way I know that you're watching as well. Okay? All right, so again, I got to try and set this up. This is what it's going to look like for the next 3+ weeks.
Fun.
So,
Oh,
Live streaming.
2 weeks. We get a week off.
yeah.
No, 2 weekends go for all spring break.
Yeah,
We're
we're
taking a
gonna go
break.
through spring break. We're gonna be bored anyways.
Okay,
And just.
questions today out of your workbook. Anybody have any?
It's just again turning like on page 177.
Yeah.
4.4 for 2a. I'm just, do we have to set it up to equal 0?
Yeah.
Every time that?
Squared plus 2 equals 6x. Subtract 6x.
We just always subtract it from.
Well, yeah.
All right, so I subtract 6x from 6x, what do I get? 0, so whatever I do to that side to make that side equal 0, I have to do to this side, so I gotta subtract 6x over there.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's basically all there is to it, so in the next one, you would subtract 2. The next one, I'd probably subtract 12x and add 2, and then in D, I would subtract 2,
Okay. That makes sense.
okay? Any questions? Have you started the review yet?
No.
Not quite yet.
Okay, well, I would suggest you get at that today.
That's Thursday.
What's that?
Test
That's
tomorrow.
Thursday.
Do we have school Thursday?
I'm still
It's-
not confident that it's gonna go
not
till
likely.
Thursday. I don't know for sure. Right now, I feel like by the end of tomorrow we'll be done, but I don't know. It's just that our teachers union has asked for that. So whether
You asked me that.
Yeah,
our teachers
By
union
Wednesday.
has this. But Saskatchewan's not going till Friday, so I wouldn't be surprised if we go till Friday. So anyways, be prepared to write a test tomorrow so that we don't have to write it after break. Okay? If you don't want to write it tomorrow, then you gotta write it first day back from this 3-week hiatus. So I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. You gotta write it one way or the other. Okay, I'm gonna try something else. And then I'm gonna look at this.
Done, no.
Mm,
Well, it's
Yeah,
just, what's the
aren't
word,
they
what's
done
that
for
word
the-
in something? They're not like done for the whole year.
No, it's,
Oh, it's
it's
until,
not
it's
inside
basically
the
until
challenge.
further notice.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like our school. We could possibly be brought back earlier or held back longer.
Okay, let's look at page 181.
Ooh, fun.
Okay, I'm gonna go through it fairly quickly just to see.
181.
181.
Oh, that's actually.
So first one is, can you tell me what the roots are from the graph?
Negative one.
Negative 1 and 5.
-1 and 5, and in B?
Yeah.
Let's see. What is it? 3. Okay. Explain which properties dictate the number of x-intercepts for each of the following, then sketch a sample of each type on the graph. So 2 distinct real roots. Okay,
That's
so
what we talked about yesterday.
yeah, that's the discriminant, the b squared minus 4ac. So if there's 2 distinct real roots, that means that you have a
Less.
b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0 and a perfect square.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
1 real root, the discriminant is,
Less than.
no,
Or greater than. Sorry.
Equal to.
equal to 0. That means it's on the axis.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and no real roots, the discriminant is
Greater.
less than 0. Means it has to be a
Oh,
negative.
wait, yeah.
Okay,
What has to be less than 0? The 4.
the discriminant. Remember what I said yesterday, when we have our quadratic equation, this right here, we call the discriminant. And because it's a square root value, if the value in there is a negative number, you can't take the square root of a negative number, which means that there's no roots. That means that the vertex is above the line and it opens up, or the vertex is below the line and opens down. If this value equals 0, you have 1 root, negative b over 2a. That's your only root. If it's greater than 0, you're going to have 2 real roots. All right? If this is a perfect square, you'll have 2 real distinct roots. If it's not a perfect square, you'll have like the square root of 4 or square root of 5 or a decimal if you were to graph it. Okay? Page 182 is just graphing. Have a look at page 183. This is an important one right here. Okay? I have a plus 5 squared, subtract 49b minus 9 squared. What do you recognize about that?
Oh, it might be, it's difference of squares.
It's difference of squares, right? You have a perfect square, subtract the perfect square. Okay, so then,
Oh, yeah. I really had to do that.
so you go like this. What is it, a plus 5?
Yeah.
A plus 5, subtract 7, what is it, b
B minus 9.
b minus 9. So there's one bracket. And then I have a plus 5, add 7, b minus 9. Okay, so it's the square root of the first term, subtract the square root of the second term, times the square root of the first term, add the square root of the next term. Then you have to simplify it. A plus 5 minus 7b, add 63. A plus 5, add 7b minus 63 plus 68 and a plus 7b minus 58. There's your final answer. Okay. Look at C. What about C? Is that difference of squares as well? Is 9 a perfect square?
Is 100.
Is m squared a perfect square?
Yep.
Is 16 a perfect square?
Yep.
Is 100 a perfect square? Is n squared a perfect square?
Oh, they're all perfect
Is
squares.
81 a perfect square? Yeah, so you have difference of squares there as well. Okay. Number 5 is just factoring. Number 7, 8 is completing the square. And number 10 is quadratic formula. Okay? You manage those 3 pages, 4 pages, and you'll have no problem.
Oh, there's no word questions about any of the interviews.
There will be one, maybe, on the test. Okay?
Nice.
I have a quick question with quadratic formula. When you do have the negative square root, which you can't do, if you get to that point, you just stop, you don't carry on, just leave it as that is your answer? Whatever the b
Yes.
plus minus thing is.
Yes. Okay, if there's nothing else, that's good. All right, I'll get those marked and get them back to you. Signing off.
For YouTube.